The Lagos skyline glittered like a million diamonds as the city came alive at night. In a penthouse overlooking Victoria Island, Onize Abu prepared for what was supposed to be the biggest night of her career. At 26, she was already a Nollywood sensation, the face of every billboard and the envy of every young woman who dreamed of stardom. But tonight, Onize wasn't just attending another film premiere. She was unveiling her production debut, a film she had written, financed, and starred in. The cameras flashed as she stepped onto the red carpet in a custom-made gown. Her fans screamed her name, and the media buzzed with questions. But while the world celebrated her success, Onize's heart pounded with dread. Someone was watching her. She could feel it. 2 days earlier, a white plain envelope had been delivered to her home in Lekki, Phase 1. Inside was a single photograph, a grainy image of Onize as a teenager, standing in the shadow of an unpainted church in her village in Kogi. On the back of the photo, scrawled in shaky handwriting, were the words, "I know what you did." Onize had buried her past so deeply that she almost convinced herself it wasn't real. But the photograph has ripped open old wounds. Back in her village, she was just Oni, the quiet, shy daughter of Pastor Abu, a strict man who demanded perfection. Her mother had died when she was 10, leaving her alone with her father, whose expectations weighed heavily on her shoulders. The events of one fateful night had changed her life forever. It was the night her father had died. Onize knew the truth, and now someone else did too. At the premiere after party, Onize retreated to the restroom to catch her breath. Her phone buzzed. Another message. This time, it wasn't a photograph. It was a video, a shaky recording of her father arguing with someone moments before his death. Onize's blood ran cold. She hadn't seen this video before. Then the message came and it read, "Meet me at the abandoned warehouse in Yaba. Midnight. Come alone." Onize didn't trust easily, but she couldn't ignore the threat. That night, dressed in all black, she arrived at the warehouse. The air smelled of frost and damp, and every creak of the old structure made her flinch. A figure emerged from the shadows, a man wearing a hoodie. He stepped into the dim light, and her breath caught. "Kunle," she whispered. Kunle Durojaye had been her childhood friend. They had grown up together in the same village, inseparable until her father's death had driven them apart. Onize had disappeared soon after, and she hadn't heard or seen from him in over a decade. "I always knew you would make it big, Onize," Kunle said with a bitter smile. "You are good at pretending, aren't you?" "What do you want?" Onize demanded, masking her fear. Kunle's smile faded. "The truth about what happened to your father. You can lie to the world, but you can't lie to me. I know you were there. I know what you did." Tears welled up in Onize's eyes as memories flooded back. Her father had been a respected man, but behind closed doors, he was harsh, demanding, and sometimes violent. The night he died, Onize had stood up to him for the first time, defending herself against one of his outbursts. In the struggle, he had slipped and fallen down the stairs, but she hadn't meant for it to happen. But in her panic, she had left him there unconscious. By the time help arrived, it was too late. Onize had always told herself that it wasn't her fault. "You could have called for help," Kunle accused. "He didn't have to die, but you ran. You let everyone believe it was an accident. Onize's voice shook. What do you want from me? Kunle's expression darkened. I want what you owe me. While you became a star, I stayed in that village, stuck with the memories you ran away from. But now you can pay me back. I need 50 million naira by the end of the week, or I will release the video. Onize returned home shaking. Kunle's demand wasn't just about money, it was about control. If the video went public, her career would be over. Worse, she would be labeled a murderer. As the days passed, Onize realized something didn't add up. How had Kunle gotten the video? Who had filmed it? And why now, after all these years? Onize decided to fight back. She hired a private investigator, a no-nonsense woman named Zainab, who uncovered shocking details about Kunle's life. He had fallen into debt with dangerous people, and his blackmail scheme was a desperate attempt to save himself. But the real twist came when Zainab discovered the identity of the person who had filmed the video. It was not Kunle, it was Onize's stepmother, Hawa, a woman Onize hadn't seen since she left the village. Onize tracked down Hawa, who now lived in a remote part of Abuja. Confronting her stepmother, Onize demanded answers. Hawa smiled. Your father was a cruel man, Onize. You know that better than anyone. I filmed that video to protect myself. When you left, I thought I would never need it. But then Kunle came to me, desperate and willing to pay. Onize's hand trembled with rage. You sold me out for money? Hawa's smile faded. It was never about the money. It was about power. And now you have a choice. You can either pay Kunle and keep your perfect image, or let the truth come out and lose everything. Onize knew she couldn't give in to the blackmail. With Zainab's help, she orchestrated a trap. At the arranged meeting with Kunle, Onize secretly recorded their conversation, capturing his confession. She also had Hawa's involvement documented. The evidence was enough to clear Onize's name and expose Kunle and Hawa's schemes. But Onize didn't stop there. She held a press conference, confessing the truth about her father's death. I made mistakes, she told the world, her voice steady. But I won't let my past define me. This is my story, and I am taking it back. The revelation shocked the nation, but instead of destroying her, it humanized her. Fans rallied around her, inspired by her courage to face her demons. Kunle was arrested for extortion, and Hawa disappeared into obscurity. Onize used her platform to advocate for mental health awareness and the rights of abuse survivors. She rebuilt her career stronger than ever, proving that even in the face of betrayal and scandal, redemption was possible. And a year later, as she stood on the red carpet smiling for the cameras, Onize knew she had truly earned the title Young, Famous, and African.
Thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe and turn on your notifications so you never miss our next captivating story. Let us know your thoughts by leaving a comment, and don't forget to share this with your friend.